Hello everyone. Is my voice audible to all? If my voice is audible, please raise your hands. Yes, thank you. So first of all, I would like to tell all of you that please check your microphone, and also speaker volume, and also please be make sure that you are having a proper internet connectivity. Okay. So we'll start the session in 5 minutes.
Akshay, can you just let me know if my voice is clear or not, or do I need to switch to my other laptop?
Yes, Seventh, it's audible properly. Yeah.
Okay, great.
So guys, we have just now sent all the reminder messages once again. Please ignore if you are already in the session. That is just to remind the other participants as well. We will kickstart the session within 3 minutes. And just an important note to all of you. Please make sure that you are entering this session. Please make sure that you have entered your full name. Don't join the session with the fake names or mobile number, mobile IDs, etc.
Good evening, guys. Am I audible? Akshay, am I
Yes,
audible?
ma'am. Yes,
Yeah.
Neha, it's audible.
Just a small reminder. Thank you for joining. Please don't leave the session. We're just waiting for more people to join. And if you have any queries, keep posting them in the chat box, and we'll see to it that we are getting the acknowledgement. Thank you.
So without making any delay, I just wanted to kickstart the session by introducing. Everyone can hear me, right? Is it audible right now? If it's audible, just raise your hands as an acknowledgement.
It's audible. Please go ahead.
Sure. Okay. Thank you. So I think everyone can see the screen. So in this screen, I am going to tell you about what is Skilla and why we are hosting this session today and why all are we here now. So generally, Skilla is a platform on an online e-learning platform. Okay, basically it looks similar to the other platforms in the market, but we are pretty much different because we are actually made for students and for them who actually wanted to get their career, get their tech job done by when they are out of the college. So there is a lot of big problem and lot of challenges for the students when coming to this point, whenever they wanted to get a good tech job in the companies, it's a very challenging and tough task for everyone, right? So even in your colleges, a lot of companies comes, but you might face challenge while getting the right job for you because there might be a lot of non-technical jobs as well. So keeping this all the things in mind, being this Skillai brings you industry-ready technical courses along with the tracks. Starting from the basics to the one who is having zero knowledge on the programming, and the one who is having an intermediate knowledge in the programming, and at the same time the one who wanted to excel their skills in a particular specialization. Okay, so generally uh, we go we are pretty much different as well. We are having a membership based model. It's very simple to explain in such a way that you all have Netflix and Prime, right, for movies. So our membership model works in a similar way. Like you will be paying once and accessing all our courses and content per year long. So all these courses, whatever we have in the platform, all these courses are made accordingly to the whatever the company is required, and at the same time keeping students in focus, students in mind. So you can see uh, actually, whenever you go to the other platforms like different, I don't want to mention the names, but every platform promises you a single course or single specialization or single certificate. But the point is, how many of them have you faced this problem? You are interested in one field, but during the particular course of time, you will be changing your mind and then you wanted to shift to another technology or something. It happens a lot of time for the students, but every time a student cannot spend, 2000, 3000, or 4000, 5000 rupees for each and every course and each and every time of their enrollment, right? So what we do is we actually made a curated curriculums for the students in three specializations, mainly Android application development, machine learning, and data scientist related thing, and also a full stack web development program. So yeah. So basically what happens is whenever you are taken our membership, this membership includes all the courses that lead you to the become a full stack web developer by the end of the curriculum. This curriculum starting from introduction to programming, data structures and algorithms, and a lot of other courses like basics of front end, basics of back end, advanced front end, and also advanced back end courses. And also by the end of the each and every course, you will be having a course completion certification course and also a project development support for every course. So how you might be asking like how my doubts get solved as these are all the recorded content. No, so generally our platform is a blended model where you will be having access to all the courses, and each course having its own club. Every club has its own doubt clearance sessions. So for example, if you started something and you will be involved into recorded sessions first, pre-recorded classes, and then you will be involved into doubt clearance sessions. At the end of the course, you will be involved into project development sessions, which will be totally live sessions. So by the end of each course, you will be getting course completion certificate. And at the same time, when you followed our curriculum and complete the whole specialization, you will be receiving a specialization completion certification along with a placement assistance. So generally, no other platforms will promises you that they will provide placement assistance. But here, what we will be saying is, for example, if you have completed our curriculum according to our guidelines, and if you completed the whole curriculum and submitted a project to us, we will be referring you to the companies where you can apply for the roles and responsibilities of core tech jobs. And we have associated with a lot of other companies as well in the market today. So all this comes under a single membership, where you can switch between the specializations if you are really demotivated after some time, but still wanted to continue with the other specializations, you can continue. So there are other lot of benefits, guys, like not only pre-recorded content, but also the live sessions will be helping you a lot in understanding the content. And all the sessions will be held through online and live, where you can instantly clear your doubts and work on real-time project along with the industry expert. So these are the things. And our curriculum is especially made for students. So anyone, irrespective of department or branch, irrespective of the year they are studying, they can join us as a member and continue taking your curriculum or specialization or the track which you wanted to be in. If you need any kind of personal assistance, how to get started, we are very happy to help you. You can reach out to our representatives. We will be helping you how to get started and what are the courses you must take. And also, by the time of your completion in the curriculum, you will be able to receive your specialization certification as well. Okay, so this is about the platform, but keep this in mind, guys. Today, especially for those attendees who attended this webinar, this membership price is getting low to 1,000 rupees only. It is actually 1499. It's an early bird price, but if you use our discount coupon that we will be circulating it during the webinar, you can get it for 1,000 rupees INR. That is also for total 1 year. You will be getting access to recorded sessions, online and live sessions, and also placement and internship assistance if you're in the 4th year. At the same time, free access to events, right? So keeping this all the things aside, let's get started with today's session. So today's session will be mostly talking about full stack web development. So generally, lot of students having a lot of queries like how to get started with web development, and if I am out of CSC like ECE, EEE, or any other department, how can I keep myself into web development and get a right job there? And at the same time, which tech stack I should choose? Where there are a lot of questions are like how can I be professional in only front end, or I should be focusing on both back end as well, or I should be how I should get started actually, right? So all these queries will be getting solved now in this session. So today's we are having a speaker, our guest speaker. His name is Revant, and he's a very young and dynamic web developer. He's working as a software development engineer at Autodesk. You might already know like what is Autodesk, which how big the company is, and cracking a job in that company as a software development engineer is a very big task. And let us know today how exactly Revant has made it there, and also he will be sharing his views, opinions, and most importantly, this session would be a two-way interactive session where you are going to ask us questions and we are going to answer each of your question. So make it a two-way interactive. If you are having any queries, just post it in the chat option. Okay, over to you, Revant.
Okay, so am I audible? I mean, am I visible?
Yes, Revant, it's visible. It's visible and audible.
Okay, great. So, all right. So that was a kind intro. Actually, thank you very much. And damn, there's a lot of people, guys. I didn't expect this much of a turnout. But yes, I am absolutely thrilled to, see all of these people over here. And okay, without any further ado, let me just go ahead and first introduce myself, and we'll get into the stuff later on. And as I already wanted, we are not going to have one-way discussion. Like I came from a tier 3 background. I know how classes are conducted there. So I studied in a village, and I first went into TCS. I graduated in 2018, and then I went into TCS, worked there for 1 year, didn't like the work, and then switched to a startup, and then now currently working in Autodesk as a SDE2. So with 3 years of experience. So primarily my job is to build websites, build scalable web design applications that caters to millions of throughput per second. We receive a lot of data. We work on that. We build a lot of good websites. Like if you have heard about AutoCAD, so probably you would have understood what Autodesk does. AutoCAD is created by Autodesk. So without anything, I'll just share my screen and quickly get started. And people, when I say this, I really mean it. This is not going to be something like a lecture or a seminar. Just treat me like you're a senior or something. Don't give me any names or something. But I want this thing to be interactive. I want you people to be constantly texting to any question that I keep asking, so that I know how many people are able to understand, how many people are able to follow through, so that I can again go ahead and repeat the same thing that I have told. So a very quick, just give me a hands, raise your hands right now if you people are in your BTech degree, or if you're still studying. Just give a raise of your hands right now. There are 84 participants, and just give a raise of your hands right now. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Great stuff. Okay, fine. All right. So that's enough. Now, tell me, just give another raise of hands if you know at least what full stack development is, at least the little bit basics of what exactly full stack development is all about.
Even there is a poll, we can launch it and we can see the response of the question. Guys, you will be displayed with a question. Please answer that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the poll that I wanted. Thank you, Arsai. Thank you very much.
Guys, there is a question in front of you. Just answer that.
Okay, so there are 80 people. Once it hits at least 50, then I'll just move ahead. Come on, guys, quickly answer so that I can know what exactly I should tell to you guys and what should I not tell. Oh wow, okay. There are beginners. At least 50% of the people are completely beginners. Okay, that's crossed.
There's an equal proportion actually.
Okay, there are a lot of beginners now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So before you started, thank you so much, Revan, for accepting the invitation and attending this. We're really glad to have you here. And guys, like he mentioned, let's keep it interactive, because the whole crux of this webinar is to get yourself equipped with this knowledge. So yeah, you can go ahead.
Awesome, great. So I guess, can you just end the poll? So it's like 60% of the people don't even know about full stack. Fine, without telling anything, I'll just go ahead and share my screen, and probably let me know if you guys can see my screen now. Okay, let me see if I'm not sharing any sensitive information. I don't want to do that, because this is my laptop. Okay, looks like I'm not opening anything. Okay, this should be fine. Okay, let me know if you guys can see my screen. So as I said, this is not at all going to be something like our college sort of presentation, because I am from college, right? 3 years ago. So what exactly full stack development is all about? Fine. You go to your website. The first website that, let's say you go to Amazon.com, like the great Indian sale is happening right now, right? The Flipkart, Big Billion Day, Myntra, Nykaa, every sale is happening right now. And you take a look at the website and you see, hey, this is actually pretty good. This website looks very good. And all of the items that I want are displayed over here. How do I actually build such a thing? So that thing that you see when you visit a particular website, any particular website, is the front end, the user interface, UI. The front end full stack consists of 3 parts basically: the front end, back end, and database. So when you visit a website, what you see in front of your eyes is actually the front end. Now you log in. After you click the user ID, after you submit the user ID and password, it has to go somewhere, right? It has to fetch the details from somewhere. These details are stored in a server, in a database server. Now, the logic between this website to that database is linked between another thing called as backend. So all these three things combined is full stack. That's it. You can become a front-end developer, you can become a back-end developer, you can become a database administrator, or you can be a full stack developer, which is the whole package in itself. It has its own worth and merits and demerits. We'll go to that later on. So that's basically what full stack developer is all about. It's not something that you need to be feeling exaggerated about. Just three things: front end, back end, and database. So why should I even learn this thing? Like there are multiple things. I can go to testing, I can go to big data analytics, I can become a data scientist, I can become a cloud person. Why should I just learn full stack? Well, just go ahead and search for full stack web developer role in any job platform. You can go to Naukri, AngelList, Indeed, InstaHire, or LinkedIn, or Stack Overflow, any place. Just type how many results you're getting if you type for a front-end developer or a back-end developer or a full stack developer, and compare them to how many results you are getting when you type for a data scientist or a machine learning person or a QA person, anything. Other roles, they specifically need a little bit of experience, at least. But full stack, a software development engineer, SDE in full stack, you primarily don't need much experience. If you have correct skill sets and you have to have a good portfolio, you can become a full stack developer. What do you say? Your college doesn't matter. If you have a degree or not, even that doesn't matter. Those days are far gone. They are far gone from reality. Even if you have like a 20 backlogs at the end of your fourth year, people don't care nowadays, unless until it's a service-based company. So the primary goal that I want to impact from this session is how you can become a full stack developer. What are the things that you need to learn in order to become full stack? How much duration does this process take completely? And what can you expect? The compensation in terms. So we'll probably go through that only. So what exactly is full stack? This is not going to be presentation. This is just not going to be presentation. I'm just going through the slides. For there are only 5 slides. So I'll go to the website and I'll cleanly explain how it works, what should you do, what should you not do. So as I said, ignore DevOps for now. Ignore this 4th one for now, and this one also. Just concentrate on these 3 things: front end, back end, databases. Now front end basically consists of HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So let me just open something, and I should probably hide this one. I'll just go to Amazon.in. So this particular thing that you see over here is the front end of an interface. Now, if you do view the source code, all of this is coded in HTML. This thing is HTML. Everything is coded in HTML. This is probably JavaScript. I should probably take some other website, I guess, apart from this, because it's CMS. Okay. Let me take Stack Overflow. I think this should be a website. Okay, great. So the front end, whatever you see, is HTML of this particular website. Whatever you see is HTML, is coded in HTML and CSS. Now, where does JavaScript come into the picture? You're clicking on something. I'm just clicking on this thing, and the link from that is actually done by JavaScript. It goes, fetches the data and displays it. It redirects you to this particular page. It stores the session information, it stores the user information. All this thing is sort of done by JavaScript on the front end only. On the back end, it is again done in some other fashion. So what you see on the website is controlled by primarily 3 things only: HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Now, what people do when they're learning front end is they ignore JavaScript and they jump immediately to something like Angular or React or Vue.js. So learning JavaScript itself is not going to help you. You need to learn something called Angular or React or Vue.js. So I'll say Angular or React. You don't have to probably learn Vue. It's not that much picked up in India anyways. So Angular is built by Google, React is built by Facebook. These are, you can say, frameworks / libraries in JavaScript. If you don't know these things, it's very hard to become a good front-end developer. You need to know these frameworks. But here is the catch. If you don't know JavaScript, please don't go and learn these things. If you don't know JavaScript, do not start learning Angular or React if you don't know JavaScript. That's the basic problem I see with every entry-level developer. They don't understand JavaScript well enough, to deep dive into Angular or React. You should not be that sort of a person. Learn JavaScript to the core, learn the basics, deep rooted basics. Only then go to Angular and React. Apart from that, do not do that. Once you are comfortable with front end, this HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Angular, and React, then you need to build your portfolio. What do I mean by portfolio? Okay, portfolio in the sense, projects, basically. If you don't have projects in your resume, if you don't have projects hosted in your GitHub profile, so a GitHub is basically where you post your source code. So I can just explore repositories. Where are repositories? This is actually a good repository for you people to hit. So GitHub is a place where you can post your projects. The primary concern is you should not host projects just like anything else. Like you should have a proper project, even if it is very simple, even if it is a simple to-do application or a calculator application, it doesn't matter. Code it well enough in front end and then post it on GitHub profile. That is what I would recommend. Posting on GitHub alone will not get you a referral. You need to put that website in live. When I say live, people should be able to see your website. In over here, they can only see the source code. They cannot see your website, right? They can't see your website over here. They should be able to see the whole website, whatever you have done. For that, there are some things called, I'll just write down Heroku and GitHub pages. This whole thing right now, whatever I have talked is front end only. Build your HTML, CSS, JavaScript basics, and then learn Angular or React. And only then start building projects. Once you start building projects over and over, you'll get the feel of it, you'll get the catch of it. If you don't build projects and you just go with the theme, it's useless. Programming is a little bit like mathematics, if you ask me. If you don't code, you're not going to get it. Simple as that. You can make any sort of application. It can be a simple to-do application where people can write, delete, edit, update, something. You can build a calendar application. You can build a memo application. And what else do you have? You can build, student inventory, something. You can basically build a lot of things. If you need ideas, you can probably Google itself. Google will give you like thousands of ideas. And the whole crux is JavaScript. If you know JavaScript well and good enough, then probably crack any front-end interview. Trust me. Then comes the back-end part. Now I'm just clicking on the sign in button, and once I sign in, what exactly happens? It needs to find out, right? Okay, a particular user with a particular password is trying to sign in to this website. Is he allowed to do this operation or not? So what this application does, the front-end interface does is, it sends these details back to the server, your back-end application. Okay, fine. Okay, I don't have Google Authenticator installed on my phone, it's on my other phone. So basically what it does is, let's probably go with stories. This is another place where you can find tech blogs. Medium is one more article where you can probably find stories and things. Highly recommend checking this out. You can find good tutorials, amount of good tutorials over here as well. So coming back to here, it needs to authenticate these details. It goes to the database, it fetches from the backend logic, and it checks if this particular user is allowed to come in or not. That is all backend does. It does a determined amount of logic, and obviously, yeah, it does a lot of scaling also. Like if a million users try to log in at one time, the backend system, the server should not overload it. Just like our J2 website getting overloaded every single time whenever the results come out. It should not get overloaded, right? So that's the job of a backend developer also. If you are a backend developer, you need to take care of all those intricacies as well. So let's say you want to become a backend developer. You have primarily 3 technologies you can learn. 1, Java. 2nd, Python. 3rd, Ruby. PHP, can say it's okay, but I wouldn't recommend learning PHP at this stage. Like there are no jobs in PHP. Why do you want to learn PHP? Don't do that. Don't in your future. Either learn Java or Python or Ruby. Learn these 3. Again, it comes to the base again. Learn Java first and then, only then, go to a framework like Spring. So Spring Boot, this is a framework that you use to develop web applications. If you don't learn the basics of Java, forget about Spring Boot. You can't code or you can't code itself. You can't code a single API itself. Learn basics of Java. Learn object-oriented programming. Learn that. Without that, do not go and start building websites or building your portfolio. That's not going to work. They'll ask you one simple interview question and you're done. You're done for the day and you're gonna get rejected immediately and you're gonna get come back home. So learn basics of Java. Again, same thing in Python as well. Learn the basics of Python. If you are interested, then learn Django or Flask. Anything is fine. You can build web applications with Django or Flask. I'll probably write them out. If you go with Java, learn Spring. If you go with Python, you can go learn Django or Flask. If you go with Ruby, learn Rails. This is the whole thing that industry works on. Right now, we have some other applications that come up like Golang and Rust. I wouldn't recommend. You can just try your hand with it. You can probably just go ahead and explore what these things are. But these are the three things that you should primarily consider if you want to get a good high paying job and you want to get a good project. So there are not many startups or product based companies that are using Golang and Rust, at least in India. So just stick with this, stick with the basics. That's what I would recommend. But go ahead and explore this. It's all on you. Next, coming to the database. What exactly you need to learn for databases? You have a lot. We have MySQL, Oracle, MongoDB, Cassandra, Redis, Postgres. So you basically have two things in database. One, SQL database and NoSQL database. Learn one thing from both of these types. SQL database, you can learn MySQL or Oracle or Postgres, anything. NoSQL database, learn Mongo or Cassandra. If you are good with this, at least one of this, let's say I am a MySQL, I know MySQL and Oracle. Both are primarily the same only. If you know one SQL language, you can probably get on with MySQL databases. If you know how exactly NoSQL works, you can probably learn the crux of other databases like Mongo and Cassandra. Learn one thing. You don't need to struggle yourself by learning all of these things. No, learn one thing. Learn either MySQL or Oracle, it doesn't matter. Learn either MongoDB or Cassandra. But learn one thing from SQL, learn another thing from NoSQL. Do not make a mistake of learning only one thing, either of this. No, you need to learn both of them, but learn one of them from both of them. That's what I would recommend. So, like, let me consider me for example. So I primarily work with Java and Spring Boot. And for database, I use SQL, and in some products, we use Mongo. And that's a base crux. That's all. That's all I do in order to survive at my company. And there are other things like Elasticsearch and things, a lot of things that get complicated. But as an entry level, people don't expect you to learn these sort of things. People expect you to learn just the basics, the bare minimum that you need to enter a particular company. That's it. These things you can probably learn, or if you want, you can probably pick Python and Django, and same thing, learn any of these things. And same thing with Ruby also. Go ahead and learn Ruby and Rails and learn these two things also. So now you got all the parts, you got all the bits and pieces. What exactly frontend means, what is backend, what is database. This is a MongoDB, this is Postgres, this is MySQL. DevOps. Here's the interesting part. If you are experienced, you probably need to learn about DevOps. DevOps, basically, you developed your website, okay? You developed that. You created a very good application. Now, it's there in your system only. You need that to come outside for the people to actually view the website, right? Now, if Mark Zuckerberg has created Facebook.com in his local machine, nobody would even know. He has to host it somewhere, right? For people to access www.facebook.com. So all these things, all the deployment, continuous integration, continuous automated testing, everything comes under DevOps. You don't need to learn as a fresher. Learn what do you say? I don't even say basics. You don't even need to code in DevOps also if you are a fresher. People expect you to understand the concepts. Just that. So understand the basics of AWS, just the concepts. You don't need to host, you don't need to do you don't need to do Lambda, you don't need to do SageMaker, you don't need to do any of that stuff. Learn the concepts in cloud, like AWS. Learn how Git works. You need to learn how version control works. You need to learn how packaging works. So all this you learn when you do front-end, back-end, and database all together. So ignore DevOps. And if you want to go with mobile app development, that's a whole process in itself. You can go with Flutter, you can go with React Native. Anything is possible in mobile development. So full stack basically covers all the plethora. So you can become a web developer or you can become a mobile developer based on your interests and based on your goals. For for web development, you have these. For mobile development, you can become an Android developer, you can become an iOS developer. For iOS, you need to learn Swift and Objective-C basically. If you want to build applications that work across Androids or iOS or iPads or all that, you need to learn like things like Flutter, you need to learn Firebase, you need to learn what else do we have, React Native, such kind of stuff. So if you're interested in mobile development, you can go with that. If you're interested in web development, you can come this way. DevOps stands in the intermediate basically. What you do after developing your code, you need the code to be in a particular website where people can understand the functionality. So that's what you do. Again, portfolio. This is very, 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 very important. If you don't have a portfolio, how will you approach a company? Hey, I'm talented. Can you give me a chance at your company for an interview? You don't have a portfolio. How will you even get a referral from somebody? If you come to me with a resume, and if you don't have portfolio in that resume, I'm not going to refer you. Not just me. Nobody in the industry is going to refer you if you don't have projects right now. The way projects are built around right now for startups and product-based companies is you need to show that you are a good web developer with your projects. I know that your friend knows that you're a good web developer, but I don't know, right? I'm a random person. I don't know how you code. I don't know what you do. If you have projects, you host them on your GitHub and you have deployed them somewhere on Heroku or GitHub pages, then you are giving me your resume. Hey, I have developed so and so websites. They are listed in my GitHub, and you name each and every single project in your resume. And then if you give that resume to me, I'll go ahead and see, and then I'll understand what a pro you are, and I'll refer you to the company immediately. So that's how it works. That's how the industry works with your portfolios. The better your portfolio, the better your chance of getting an interview. Getting an interview, not clearing it, getting an interview. So whatever we're doing so far is to get an interview. Once you go into the interview, that's a whole different ball game altogether. We'll come to that in like next 5 to 10 minutes. I'll come to that. Getting your interview. Okay, I want to know one more poll. Like, how many people over here are from tier 3 college? Like, if you are not from IIT or NIT or triple IT, you are basically from tier 3 college. I am also from a tier 3 college where nobody knows the college name also. So if you are from a tier 3 college, can you please raise your hand? I just want to quickly know. Come on, guys, we have 93 people. Go ahead and raise your hands. At least 50. Make it 50, at least 50. Oh, it's 20. People are very slow. Okay, I'll wait. No problem. 25, 30. Okay. Fine. 1/3, 1/4. I seen the list. Probably everybody is from a tier 3 college. So I'll give you the harsh reality right now. If your goal is to work at a very good startup or a very good product-based company like Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Flipkart, Ola, Uber, Zeta, Coinbase, Rippling, Rubrik, these companies, they pay a lot. I'll show you how much they pay also, don't worry. If your goal is to work for those sort of companies, your chances of getting an interview from your on-campus are pretty limited. Unless and until you are from a very good renowned tier 3 college. Let's say you are from VIT, let's say you're from LPU where Amazon comes, let's say you're from Geethams where a lot of colleges come, a lot of companies come. So unless and until you are from those colleges, you basically don't have a chance, right? In campus placement, you need to apply off campus only. How can you apply off campus? I'll just show you. 4 portals I'll be giving you right now, which you need to, if you can write them down, go ahead and write them down right now. One, everybody knows this thing, Naukri. Go ahead and put yourself on Naukri.com. Doesn't matter. Once you put your profile on Naukri.com, okay, no, you start getting interviews. Second, InstaHire. This is one more job search platform, primarily startups and product-based companies focused. This is another interview-based platform. Third, AngelList. This, my friends, is actually something that everybody over here should look, because primarily this hosts only startups. All the job listings over here are going to be hosted with the help of startups only. sorry, all the startups are going to post their employment opportunities over here. Let me just quickly skip. Save and continue. I hate this interface. Okay. Okay. See this one? These are all startups that have like 200 to 500 employees, so and so employees, whatever it might be. And all of these things, see right now, you have a full stack engineer right now. We have an opening for full stack engineer that was posted 2 weeks ago. We have an integrations, basically a backend engineer that was posted 2 weeks ago. That was posted 1 month ago. And you have a technical support that doesn't matter for us anyways. So this website primarily, what you're seeing right now is for, what do you say, startups. And look at this company. This probably, I think, is some US based company. And the best thing about this website is they tell you how much they're offering. You can probably see it over here. They actually tell you how much most of the companies offer. Like, for example, see this thing. This is in India, Jalan Technology Consulting, etc. etc. They're offering something called 14 to 24 lakhs. So, okay, 16 something. It doesn't matter. You basically get the whole idea of how much people are paying you before you can apply for a company. So this is one thing. And one other thing is Stack Overflow. People know Stack Overflow only for questions, but how many of you know that you can find jobs on Stack Overflow? That is it. So this is one more skill that you need, guys. Googling. The better you are at Googling, the better you can perform well. See, over here, you can get jobs from Stack Overflow. I absolutely love jobs posted on Stack Overflow because they're not same like you see across all the other job portals. They ask for very specific things. For example, see this thing. Again, a full stack developer, again, a full stack developer, backend developer, full stack developer, backend engineer, senior full stack, Java backend. All the things that you see are mostly full stacks only. Full stacks are backends. You can, if in case you are not interested, you can change the preferences a bit. You can go with QA, you can go with support, you can go with cloud or something. And again, compensation is probably listed here. You can just click, you can just understand. And most of the time, these are not entry level focused. So this might not be the best place for you, but from time to time, I do see 1 to 2 openings that come for 0 experience, 1 experience. So if we are in your 3rd year right now, or your 1st year, 2nd year, 3rd year, 1st year, 2nd year, 3rd year people, listen to me very carefully. What you need to do is get an internship at a product-based company. Do whatever you can, learn whatever you can do, build your portfolio, get an internship at a good, very good product-based company. Once you get an internship, let's say Amazon, you have 99% chance of getting converted that into a pre-placement offer if you get. But getting that internship is key. You can ask me, hey, nobody is even offering internships for these sort of people. How can I even know? Well, have you checked this? Every single company has a careers portal. This is Amazon careers page. So you can probably check. And most of these product-based companies have a different portal for students. This is for people like me, where I can just go ahead and search for software engineers or something, web development engineer. So I'll get the list of all the openings in particular location for this particular thing. But you probably see this. If you are an intern, if you are in your what do you say, BTech, you need internships. Nobody is going to offer you full time. So you can browse these full-time opportunities over here. We probably need to put location as, okay, there are 14 right now in Bangalore. So, and there are 6 in software development. Software development intern, 6 months of an intern. That was posted on September 2nd, which is around a month ago. Probably this was not closed yet right now. So go through these things and check this job ID. Now, do not apply from here. No, please don't do that. Don't click this button. Do not click that button. The thing that you should ideally do is leverage LinkedIn. If you don't have LinkedIn, please go ahead and create it. Do not let people tell anything lesser than that. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, please go ahead and create it. Like just do it, man. If you are getting into the corporate industry, especially the software industry, you need to have a proper LinkedIn profile. So what you need to do is, even here you can find jobs. In LinkedIn also you have an option of getting jobs. So all these jobs you can see right over here. So check this one particular job, this one. Take this one particular link and find people who are working at Amazon. How you can do that? You see the top search bar over there, you take the top search bar, just click enter over there. And you can find people, just click on people because you're searching for people. And oh, come on, not now. Don't mess with me now. Okay. Current company, select Amazon. Now you have all these people who are working at Amazon. Ping them, connect with them. What I mean by connect is, don't blindly send a connect invitation. Like, don't do that. Do not do that. Add a note saying, hey, I'm Revant. I'm a third-year student at college name, your college name. And then I came across this opening from Amazon careers page. I'm not going to send it. I'm just typing it. Would you be open to refer me for this position? Now, over here, you don't have an attachment. You don't have an attachment thing, right? What you should do is always have your resume in your Google Drive, OneDrive, Google Drive, doesn't matter. Have your resume in view only mode as a PDF. Don't have it as a Word document. If you are sending me your Word document for referral, trust me, I'm not even going to open it. People hate Word documents, be it recruiters, be it employers. Nobody likes Word documents, basically. Convert your Word document into a PDF. You can basically do that in Microsoft Word only. Microsoft Word, go and convert that and save as a PDF and upload that in your Google Drive. And over here, paste that link to resume. It would be probably your Google Drive link, drive.google.com, etc., something like that. And once you put that, more often than not, people will definitely, at least take a look at your message. Like, for example, just take a look at what I'm getting right now. These are all internship openings that people want me to refer them at. These are all third years and second years. I didn't have time probably, but I'll definitely go through that. This is how it will come on their screen, and they'll just go through them. And if they like your resume, they'll refer you to this for this job application internally. The reason why I'm telling you not to apply from the careers pages, there will be 1,000 people applying from the careers page for one role, and these go to a different pool. When you are referred from an employee that is internally working at Amazon, you get a higher priority. Basically, your resume is pushed up the bracket, yet it's not guaranteed that you receive an interview call, but your chances are increased at least by 50% of the times. You at least get interview call if in case your resume is not the worst. That's what I'm telling. So you can probably search also. You can just search for recruiters also over here. Just type recruiter. People will have recruiter on their profile title, right? So type for recruiter and look at this. Now you'll start seeing people who are recruiters at Amazon. You can directly connect with them only. Rather than connecting with employees, you can connect with recruiters only. But I would recommend connect with employees because their inboxes, recruiters' inboxes are always spammed with resumes and messages. They won't even have the time to open your your message. So what I would recommend is go ahead and connect with an employee on LinkedIn and send him a connection request. Explain that you are looking for a proper role and tell them that you have seen this thing and you would like a referral. Don't just tell them, is there a job at Amazon? Please don't do that. If you ask me if there is a job at Autodesk for you to refer, I will not probably go and search Careers website and waste 30 minutes of my time, right? Searching for a job for entry-level people. That's your job. The bare minimum you can do is search for the job that matches your application. For example, this is the same thing in any company. Let's say Microsoft. Just Google for Microsoft careers. And again, see, you have one for employees who are already in the industry, one for students and graduates. Every product-based company has this thing. Go ahead and search. I would like to work in India. Show me the openings. Show me the openings. Show me the openings. Show me the openings. Okay, where is this? Where is this? Okay, over here. Search for internship roles. Again, same thing. All these internships, you can probably see. Sometimes you'll have, not every time you'll not find internship things every time. Whenever you find, what I would suggest is once you are ready, every single day before you go to sleep, open websites, careers pages of all these product-based companies, like 5 to 10 product-based companies that you want to work at, and check if there is an internship opening at that company or not. If there is, immediately go to LinkedIn and start searching for them people at Microsoft. Now, what you need to do, just remove Amazon and put Microsoft over here. You'll see recruiters and employees working at Microsoft now. Connect with them and ping them your resume thing and the job ID as well. They'll refer you. So that's how you need to approach for a particular job. 5 things. 1, Naukri. 2nd, InstaHire. 3rd, AngelList. 4th, LinkedIn job section. You have a job section here as well. So all these ways you can apply. And finally, the most important thing, career pages of all the product-based companies. Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, Udaan, Ola, Zeta, Swiggy, Hotstar, InMobi, Nykaa, Myntra, AGO, every goddamn product-based company, you name it, they have a careers website. So you need to do this for getting at least an interview. Now, you are a full stack engineer. Let's say you have built amazing projects. You have sent me your resume. I have referred you at my company. You'll get your call. You'll get a call from the recruiter asking, okay, now I'm going to schedule your round. Let's take it. Probably you might have 2 to 3 rounds, or it depends, 4 to 5 rounds. It depends on the amount of interviewer. If in case he's in the mood to take more interest, probably go ahead and take it. So do not overwrite on your resume. I am repeating it again. Don't overwrite on your resume. If you have not done a project, don't write it, because your resume is basically a weapon that you are giving to the interviewer, and it works both ways. It's your weapon, and at the same time, it's a weapon that you are giving to the interviewer also. Just like in Loki, it's a weapon that can be wielded both ways, right? He'll go through your whole resume and he'll nitpick on things that you have done. If you have not done anything, don't put that on your resume. It doesn't matter. If you don't know, let's say, if you don't know Python, don't put Python on your resume. If you don't know Java, don't put Java on your resume. If you are putting something on your resume, be ready to answer questions from that particular concept or from that particular topic. If you are putting your project, if you are putting your work experience on your resume, be ready to answer that. If you're not ready to answer that, do not put that on your resume. No, please don't do that. And again, while applying, while creating these resumes, there's a proper structure that you need to follow. Like I'll just show, I made a couple. I'll just probably show. Download templates. Please don't use your creative skills and mess up the whole thing. Download templates, because all these resumes, they basically go through ATS, applicant tracking system. That is an automated software that basically checks for keywords in your resume. And if the keywords threshold is below a particular percentage, your resume, no matter how good you designed it, it will not even go to the interviewer. Interview will not even get your resume from that because of this ATS. So don't over engineer. Don't get creative with resumes. Don't put your photographs on your resumes. Please don't do that, yeah. You're not applying for an MBA marketing position or a sales position. You're applying to be a software engineer. Don't put your photographs. That's one thing that I keep seeing over and over. People send me their resumes with their photographs on it. Why do you want, why should I even see you? And this should be your format, a single page, not more than that. If you are in your college, I don't see any reason for your resume to be more than 1 page. If your resume is more than 2 pages, consider it gone. People will not even check your resume if it is more than 2 pages. If you send me a resume that has 2 or more pages, if you are a fresher, if you have done very excellently, if you have done a lot of projects, put your top 3 projects. Nah, don't put everything. Don't put your whole profile. Don't put your whole portfolio. Put 2 to 3 projects on your resume. That's what you should do. Do not put every goddamn thing, whatever you have done from your child, from your birth till this time. Don't do that. Put 2 projects that you are mostly proud of on your projects. You'll probably not have this experience. If you are 4th years, if you have done any internship, put that at the very beginning, experience section. So this is one more thing where you can probably check. This is FangPath. There is a website named fangpath.com. You can get your template from here also. This is how the template looks like. If you send me this template, consider it done. You are getting referred. At least this looks aesthetically pleasant. I know exactly where I need to look for what I want. And don't put objective. These are for USA and on-site things. if you are looking for a job inside India in software engineer, in startups or product-based companies, don't put your objective. You probably Googled it from somewhere or took from your friend. Nah, why do you even want to put that objective in your resume? I'm very hardworking. I'm so and so talented. Let your resume speak for yourself. Don't put that. That's just waste of space. I don't want to see that as a person who is referring you. Recruiter don't want to see that. It's very frowned upon to have an objective in your resumes. So please don't do that. So what you can do is put your email, your LinkedIn profile, and if you have a portfolio website, put that portfolio website. Like I'll just show you one portfolio website. People basically use this one. This is a portfolio website that you can probably find it on GitHub, but just don't clone it and don't just clone it and edit your things. So you can build your resume like this. It's like this also. You can build the whole thing, whatever you have done so far, what are the projects you have done so far. You can make a website out of it. All of the projects you can put that in your website and put this website in your resume. Trust me, it's not that hard to build these sort of things. Give it to become a full stack developer, you need 3 to 6 months. It's not overnight thing. You can't become a full stack developer in 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 month. Please don't. If it doesn't matter which industry you're from, even if you're from chemical engineering or ECE or EEE or mechanical or civil, I literally don't give a damn. All you need is 6 months to become a very good full stack developer and get a high paying job. Now let's go to jobs. You now know how to create resumes. Don't put unnecessary crap in your resumes. 1 page, more than enough. No objectives, experience, skills, experience if you have done internships, and then projects, and then your education. Don't put all your education. Like don't make that big table that we used to have that we have it in our South Andhra. Don't do that. Put just 3 single liners like here. Just see this education over here. There's just couple. You didn't put anything more than that. Concise information, convey things to the bullet point. That's it. Nothing more than that. Don't put 100 bullet points. For anything, you should have just 3, maximum 3 bullet points. That's it. Even if you have done very good, I don't care. I can see that in your GitHub profile, right? If you have done that well, put 3 vital points that I need to know about you. That's all. Don't put more than that. And people go off say and don't put that declaration at the end of your resume. I hereby declare all the skills stated above are to the best of my knowledge. Who wants to read that too? Come on, you are not living in 2014 anymore. It's 2021. Don't put that stuff. So just keep taking notes of all these things so that you don't get overwhelmed. FangPath, one is FangPath, single page resumes, and another you can probably check is Gail Lackman resume. She's actually a recruiter at Google and her resume is actually very good. My resume that I applied at all the companies and received calls are from this template only. Like I'll just share my resume at the end. There's a phone number. I probably need to cut out that phone number and I'll show that. So this is one that I would recommend. If in case you can't do any of editing, take this simple copy paste. That's all. This is one career cap and the resume is Gail Lockman McDowell. Now, so
Revant, hi.
Yes.
Let's take up some questions if there is anything from the audience side.
Sure. Let me just where's the chat box?
Guys, keep your questions in the chat box. We have seen a lot of questions during your time of registrations. We wanted to answer a few of the questions.
Can't see any questions over here. Okay, can you just iterate on the questions once if you have that handy?
Yes, you may. So the question actually which is already answered is how to start a career in full stack development irrespective of any department.
Okay.
Yes, and basically that question is actually repeated by a lot of people. And also there's another question, which combination of languages is best for full stack web developer? Like there are a lot of tech stacks in the market, which stack they need to choose and depending on the demand in the industry.
Okay, this I think we have already covered at the very beginning. If you are doing Java, learn Spring. If you are doing Python, go with Django. If you are doing Ruby, learn Rails. And one database like either MySQL and Mongo or MySQL or Cassandra. That's it. Or Postgres or anything it can be. Okay.
So there is a question from some audience. Sir, I have completed core Java and I wanted to become a backend developer. Please help me. So yes, that question is already answered, Nasir. That once after completing your core Java, you need to learn with Spring, if I am not wrong. Yes.
Yes.
Sir? Yeah. So yes, even the interesting questions coming up, like someone who is already having some intermediate knowledge on web development, that like how is Node.js, what is Node and Express, etc. Main stack or mean stack?
Okay.
What is mean and man?
Okay. So great. All these things are good, but if you don't want to learn Java, if you don't want to learn Python, if you know just JavaScript alone, let's say you only know JavaScript and you're not interested in learning any of the other languages. In that point of time, you have two options. You can either become a mean stack developer, which is basically a full stack developer only, or you can become a MERN stack developer, which is full stack. The M in mean stands for Mongo, basically the database. E is Express, it is a framework in JavaScript, if you put it that way. A is Angular, again, that we have covered. For the front end part, you can learn Angular or React, right? That is that thing. And N is Node.js. Node.js is like a server-side JavaScript. So you basically, instead of learning a server-side language, you have Node.js as a server-side language itself.
So irrespective of any kind of languages, if they are only good with JavaScript or HTML, CSS, JS, they can go with
Right.
MERN or mean.
Right. There's not much difference between mean and MERN also.
Only
in
the
case-
Angular and React.
Right. If you want to become a MERN, you basically learn React. If you want to become mean, you basically learn Angular. That's all.
Yes. So just a couple of there is actually question saying that for what are the language? Sorry, currently pursuing BSc Computer Science final year. What languages should I learn? I don't know any programming language. This is basically a question from, I think they are not aware of any of the programming language so far, but still wanted to get into the IT career and that too
Oh.
web development.
Okay. If in case you are in your final year, I just need to know if you are at the beginning of your final year or if you are unfortunately are at the ending of your final year. Based on that, I can answer your question well.
Yes. Mostly might be
Let's,
the
I'll
beginning part.
consider both
Yes.
the scenarios. I'll consider
Yes.
both the scenarios.
Yes.
If you are at beginning of your final year, doesn't matter. You need 6 months of duration. I have not covered the most important part of cracking interviews so far. I'll come to that once I answer this question, and then I'll come back to taking the other questions also. So if you are in your beginning of your final year, BSc or MSc or MCOM or BCom or BTech or anything, learn Python or Java. They are beginner friendly languages. Python is the most beginner friendly language if you ask me. Learn any of these two. Learn any of these two. You can learn C++ also, but well, C++ is just used for doing if in case you are interested in competitive programming, you can go with C++, or if in case you are doing a little bit of a GPU level programming, then you need, apart from that, you don't basically need C++ anywhere, unless until you intend to become a C++ or C developer, only then you need to do that. But for full stack, if your goal is full stack, and if you're in your BSc final year beginning, learn Java or Spring. Learn the basics. If you are learning Java, again, learn Spring, that is the framework. If you are learning Python, learn Django or Flask, that is the framework. Well, software industry is not just this thing, guys. There are multiple streams. If you are not interested in full stack, I completely understand. There are cloud, there is there is DevOps, there is big data, there is cloud, there is automation, there is support, there is SAP, there is Salesforce. A hell lot of options. Go and explore. No, nothing wrong in that also. So
Yes, there's a question. As you said that the companies are looking to hire developers who are into Java, Python, Django, or Spring, something like that. But comparatively to MERN stack and mean stack, so the career opportunities for mean and MERN is also same as Java, Spring, or Python, Django.
Definitely. See, you become a full stack developer by learning how to solve problems. You're not, it's language agnostic if you ask me. If you're a good Java developer, it doesn't matter. You can learn JavaScript in a week and learn Node.js also. It doesn't matter. So full stack developers are the same anywhere. But if you have the experience of what the job asks you specifically for, let's say you know Java, but the job asks you for Node.js, it doesn't matter. If you are good with Java, if you are good with one programming language, now you can learn another programming language in less than a month. If you ask me, not even 1 month, 2 weeks is what all it takes to learn a language to the
Yes. If
basics.
they might be good at all these data structures, tuples, arrays, lists, everything is common. Oops, concepts, everything common. Yeah.
Exactly. So it doesn't matter. All of these full stack, they have equal opportunity in the industry. I'll show you how much they are paid and how to crack that interview in 5 minutes. So do you have any other questions, Akshay? Or
Yeah. So I just wanted to show them something, and once after that, we'll move on with the pay scale and how and the sample part, resume part, etc. in an interview thing.
okay,
Uh,
sure, sure.
yeah. So
Let
I
me
will be
stop you
sharing my
sharing.
screen. Yes. So guys, so many of them are asking me that will skill high be guiding us from step by step from the basics? Yes, guys. Basically, we have made a specialization for you, which is actually mean stack development specialization, where you will be going through basics of programming, Python as well, but at the same time, you'll be going through basics of front end development first, then front end advanced, that is using Angular and TypeScript. That means also the JavaScript, inheritance of the JavaScript, that is Angular, and also backend basics using Node.js and MongoDB as Revant mentioned earlier, and also the mean stack web development. Someone asked the question that I want to build a website of event management. So can I go with this stack? Yes, absolutely. I think this mean stack based projects, a lot of other projects are there where you can build your own projects. So that is where actually we have made this specialization for you. And every specialization is not just a recorded content, guys. It's also having live project development sessions for each and every course. For example, if you wanted to build a we want you to build a portfolio along with your resume by the end of the specialization. That means you will be working on every single project in each course, so that you will be linking that live project with your portfolio, and we will be having a session on how to build your resume and also how to pitch, how to connect with the LinkedIn profiles, etc. So throughout this process, we are an end-to-end platform, not just as providing a single course and not just telling them words, right? So basically, I'll also tell you this PDF will be shared with you on the kind of chat option also. But I just wanted to show you that the concepts that we are going to cover in this main stack development one. So let us see. Yes, here. So we know that everything today's content is available online. You can also self-create, but the point is getting the content for you in a structured way, and at the same time bringing you the mentor support along with the project development assistance gives you the best opportunity. So that is where we are going through HTML, CSS, CSS Bootstrap concept, and also Git, using Git and how to leverage that version control, etc., and JavaScript basics and advanced JavaScript concepts. ES6. So Revant, can you please mention a couple of points on ES6? What is the importance of ES6 in JavaScript?
Okay, so you have JavaScript is basically a very stupid language if you ask me. So there is not much order in JavaScript. You sometimes you know why things are working, sometimes you don't even know why things are working the way they are working. It's not
Yes.
structured in like any other language like Java, C, C++. So ES6 basically is something that brings structure to JavaScript. It's written on top of JavaScript, but provides that structure so that you don't make mistakes, you don't
So the
get
people,
errors.
our colleagues can easily understand the code or something. Yes.
Well, I wouldn't exactly say that because
Yes.
if you're in the software industry, you need to understand the code no matter what. So,
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, guys, these are the projects you are going to build from the first course, single page layout. That means your website. You are like, suppose for example, your name is Akshay, www.akshay.com. Says me that profile, right? So that kind of website, login authentication system, like getting OTP to your mobile phone before logging in. To-do list where CRUD applications takes place, create, undo, delete, and read operations takes place in the to-do list, and you will be creating a survey form. So movie management system will also be done in the front end part. So coming to these other courses like course 2, course 3, course 4, I don't wanted to explain everything here. Just go through this PDF once and know what are the concepts covered, what are all the projects covered, what are the projects covered in each and every course. You will get to know how valuable this course is. No, believe me seriously, just 6 months or 8 months, continue this curriculum, get this curriculum done, submit your project to us. We are going to refer you to the placements and internships. It is damn sure. Okay. So now, I'm going to give over this session to the Revant. Revant, you can continue with this.
okay. So guys, now the most important thing that you need to know how you can crack these interviews and how much you are gonna get offered. Let's say if you are going with TCS or Capgemini or Tech Mahindra or Infosys, these are service-based companies. They serve under clients. They bill clients and they give you salary. That's what happens, right? So in these companies, you basically you don't have that much. There are not many good projects or products or something until you are in R&D, and the pay is also starts from 3 lakhs to 5 lakhs or 7 lakhs or something. Like right now, they have improved. TCS has Code Vita. You have it was Code Vita was there back in my day only. So I cracked Code Vita and went into TCS, and I didn't place on campus. I was on off campus. And now Infosys has one thing, and TCS has Ninja again, digital hiring. Accenture has one thing that offers 7 lakhs per annum. There's a lot, but if you want, you're learning all this stuff. You're primarily targeting a very high package, like a startup or a product-based company. So as I said, make a list of all these product-based companies that I said so far. Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Uber, Zeta, Rippling, not Infosys, sorry. I made a list. I'll just probably copy paste that. Let me open that in. Okay, so LinkedIn, Swiggy, Zeta, Atlassian, Google, Adobe, Alfonso, Amazon, Flipkart, PayPal, Walmart, Intuit, VMware, Freshworks, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, Microsoft, EY, Lois, Udan, Zoho, Apna, Ola, Uber, Thoughtworks, Zomato. I can keep on going. Hotstar, Inmobi. These are all the companies that offer tremendous packages to entry-level people in India. How much? That's the biggest part, right? And after this, I'll be telling how exactly you can crack companies like even Autodesk is a product-based company. Sorry, I didn't include that. Okay, no. This should be your best friend. LeetCode should be your best friend for any sort of interview preparation. On leetcode.com, once you sign in, go to this discuss page. And over here, you will see people posting their interview experiences from companies. Like over here, see, you'll have people posting their interview experiences. All these companies are probably Google or Amazon or all the product-based companies only. And this is what your even more best friend is, compensation. You have other websites like Glassdoor also. I agree, I completely agree. You have websites like Glassdoor where you can search salaries. But come on, the data in Glassdoor is so much old. It's completely outdated. Like, let me just search quickly for how much people are running at Microsoft. No, not jobs, salary. Come on. And yeah, even in Glassdoor also there is jobs. So you have one more place where you can apply jobs from. Glassdoor, you can probably note that down also. Yeah, this is the company that I'm interested in getting salaries at. Check this. And engineering, software engineer salaries is what I want. Go ahead and view more. And voila. Entry-level software engineer is getting 15.6 lakhs as base pay in this company. So it's not exaggeration. I'm not exaggerating. I'll just show you with proofs also how people earn this much and what they do in order to get this much. I'm not saying service-based companies are bad. They're not bad. They're not at all bad. If you want a really stable work-life balance, 20 years into your career, you don't need that, right? If you are married, if you have kids and you have responsibilities, then you need a work-life balance. If you are a youngster, startups are the places where you need to be. Product-based companies are the place where you need to probably crack. So this is how much people get. Don't just think Microsoft is far-fetched idea. No, it is possible. I myself am from a tier 3 college, and I have received offers from these companies, and I interviewed at them, and yet I remained out of it because of the work culture. Let me go back to LeetCode. This is one. Let me just open this compensation. SDE1. See this one? SDE1, Software Development Engineer 1. Entry level. That too with an 6 months internship. He probably did an internship. This is his base pay. This is how much he's getting from Amazon for an entry level position, straight out of college. And this is a bonus that he's getting, 15 lakhs bonus. And for first year, he'll probably get 10 if he stays. And then in the second year, he'll probably get 6 more lakhs. That's what. And this is another component is RSUs that you need to know about. let's say you join from a company like TCS, you're not going to get shares as part of your compensation. TCS just provides you a base salary of something like 3 lakhs or 4 lakhs or 5 lakhs or 6 lakhs. That's it. Nothing more than that. They don't provide bonuses. They don't provide single sign-on bonus. They don't provide relocation expenses. They don't provide RSUs or anything like that. So the thing that attracts people in startups and product-based companies are RSUs, stock options. You have the ability, the company offers you a particular stock. You can hold them and you can sell them after a particular duration is completed. So an entry-level person is probably getting 14, let's say 13 lakhs of stock. He's getting at Amazon, vested over 4 years basically. So if he stays for 4 years in Amazon, he gets this much. It's not like he needs to stay exactly for 4 years. For the first year, it will be 5% of that will be given to him, and then second year 15%, then third year 40%, fourth year 45%. Some companies like my company, we have 25% vesting. So if you join Autodesk, you get stocks. Basically, you get base, you get a bonus, you get a stock, and the stock is primarily split into 3 years. First year 25%, second year 20%, third year 25%. Uber, Netflix, Facebook, Microsoft, Udaan, all these companies offer stock options that are split over periods of time that are given to you at intervals. And every year you probably get more stock options as part of your performance. So this is your CTC. You keep seeing, right, on newspapers, a CTC of 1.1 crore has been backed by an IIT student. Listen, those days are far gone where people from IITs only crack those sort of, compensations. People from tier 3 colleges like you and I, even we can get those jobs. So this should be your best friend if in case you are actually going to interview at these places. Go through the experience over here, prepare. This is a Flipkart. Let's see how much this guy is getting. It's an 18 per base. Then stipend and the variable, probably 1.8. ESOPs. This is a stock option that I talked about. This is total compensation. This is the total CTC that he's getting. So, and again, this is from NIT. Don't worry, it doesn't matter. The college doesn't matter anymore. Probably if I can find one tier 3, that would be very good. But if I don't find, it's not a big deal anyways. I'll just check one thing and move on to how you need to prepare for these interviews. Okay, never matter, not this one. 13 months, okay, not this also. Fine. So even tier 3 companies, tier 3 colleges also keep coming from time to time, keep checking these things, keep checking lead code. Now, you got a referral, you got a good portfolio, you need this job. How you need to crack it. This is where this thing comes into picture. Data structures and algorithms. No matter how talented you are, if you have a good portfolio, if you have a good resume, if you have everything good, if you don't have data structures and algorithms knowledge, trust me, you're going to get rejected in the first round itself. All the things that we talked so far is to getting that interview itself. Just getting that interview alone, you need to do all this stuff. It takes 5 to 6 months. Now, this is where people excel. If you know data structures and algorithms, you are better than 99% of the candidates that are applying at those companies. If you are good with data structures and algorithms, are the basic, you have a lot, right? I just name all of them right now. Arrays, lists, array lists, linked lists, and then you have trees, you have graphs. What else you have? You have stacks, you have queues, you have sets, you have hash maps. These are the data structures and algorithms. You basically need to learn searching algorithms, sorting algorithms by searching with linear search, binary search, sorting, bubble sort, heap sort, radix sort, quick sort, merge sort, and string algorithms. How you can compare two things, how you can find a substring in one another substring, and what else? Sliding window, like dynamic programming. This, my friends, if you don't know this, you are done with your interviews. Forget about it if you don't know dynamic programming. Recursion. The list, whatever I'm giving right now, might be overwhelming, might go into a self-thought that if you can do or not. Trust me, I was in the same place as you, right? I am here right now. I'm very happy with my work. I came exactly from you. Do not worry. All this takes 6 months of effort. 6 months of constant effort is all that you need in order to crack the job that I showed just a couple of minutes back. You need to learn all these things. Where can I learn? Well, as Akshay told a couple of things back,
So I have
Skillshare is there.
already shared the guide even in the chat where you can go to that guide. Data structures and algorithms we have included in every specialization. That is the main reason why we have included data structures and algorithms in even in the machine learning, even in the web development, even in the Android app development. The point is, first of all, you should learn ABCD, right? Without learning ABCD, how can you go and learn the sentences and prepare for IELTS? It's something like that. And now the most important part is, it's not the DS algo what you have learned in the college, like writing on the board. I mean, concept is done like stacks means, a biscuit packet, Q means it's a train. It's not like that, guys. Now I think Revant is going to explain you about that itself in the lead code, how to leverage it. Yes, Revant.
Okay. So if your only goal is to get lead, if your only goal is to go into these companies, build your portfolio first, get your resume. Parallelly, like 2 hours, give if you're a student, I know you have responsibilities, I know you need to attend the college. 1 to 2 hours in the morning, give it to portfolio or practicing data science algorithms. Again, in the evening you are anyways free, right? Till 12 a.m. and 1 a.m. Instead of watching Netflix and Prime, please, for 6 months, stop everything of stuff. Stop everything of that sort. Do not go and binge watch Netflix every single weekend. That's not going to help anything. You can find Netflix on my desktop. You can ask me. I'm already in a good position now. Why should I study anyways? It's you who need, right? So I can watch, but you guys don't do that. At least till you get a good interview, a good offer, and then do whatever the hell you want. People don't care. So go to Lead Code, get to this problems page, sign up on Lead Code, go to the problems page. Over here, all these are sorted in the order basically. I have a premium account. I paid like 10,000 for this premium account. So a few things that I am seeing here, you might not be able to see. These things will be logged for you guys. So don't worry. A free account is more than enough to practice. I just bought it out of my curiosity only. Solve
Actually, the
top.
one more best benefit is, yes. So if they are the Skillai members, we are going to give them all these kind of benefits at just 1,000 per year. Same thing.
There you go. Okay, so solve top 100 problems. Solve top 100 problems. These are the problems that have appeared. Like if you open a problem, let me open this particular problem and so the thing is, you basically know which company has asked this problem over the past 6 months. This is for premium version. Don't worry. So this question was asked by Amazon 27 times in the past 6 months, 1 year, 6 months. Adobe, Bloomberg, Apple, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, blah, 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 blah. So you don't basically need this information. These are sorted in that manner, basically, all the acceptance. So if you have solved top 100 problems, you get an idea. You start building patterns. If you see a problem, hey, I solved this problem somewhere, a little bit related. I think I can use the same approach. It's just like a mathematics. Just like a mathematics. You have a formula, but the problem is different. You need to reapply the formula somewhere else in the new problem. Just like that. You build intuition, you build pattern solving, problem solving ability by solving these problems. When you are given a new problem in an interview, you go through that and you remember, I have already solved this type of problem. I can probably use that. Well, good enough. That's what the interview is looking for. And these are the lists that you should ideally crack it. These are that you should see it. For example, top 100 light questions, Lead Code curated problems, not SQL, sorry. Lead Code curated algorithm problems, 170. Amazon, if your goal is to solve interview problems only, if you want interview Amazon, it's highly recommended that you solve all the problems, not all the problems, basically most of the problems from this list. You have lists specifying a company in in Lead Code. You can find this immediately after you log in. So it doesn't matter. You'll find all these lists over here. You can find the companies over here. In case I'm interviewing at, let's say, Oracle, I can probably click Oracle and I'll find all the questions that Oracle has asked in the recent 6 months to 1 year or whatever it might be, 0 to 1 year. All these problems. Go ahead and solve them. Simple. Keep solving. Do not give up. See, to solve a medium problem, I took 4 attempts to solve an easy problem when I started Lead Code. It's absolutely okay if you are if in case you're spending 1 hour or 2 hours, or I don't care, solve the problem. The way that you can solve the problem is, let me just go back, and if you know Lead Code now, if you know how to use Lead Code, trust me, not even Google stands in the chance of you. You can crack any goddamn interview and you can demand whatever you want, 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs, doesn't matter. I mean, for entry level, it's not going to be more than 30 lakhs if you ask me. So read the problem statement, write the code, and try to run the test cases. If you're not able to find the solution, look at the hints. Look at the hints first. Do not immediately jump to the solution. This solution is not going to be enabled for all the problems, guys. Again, this is a premium feature. Don't buy LeetCode Premium. Trust me, you are a student. I know 10,000 is not a small amount. Don't buy LeetCode Premium. Please don't do that. Go with the free version. Check the discuss tab. Over here, people have already submitted solutions that already work for that particular problem. Read those solutions. Read those solutions. And then implement that solution again. Don't copy paste. Please don't do that. Don't copy paste. Implement the same solution in your manner again. That way you learn how exactly to solve a problem. Next time something like that comes up, you immediately solve a problem, just like you solve a mathematical problem. Simple. You don't need to learn calculus or probability or statistics or anything. Come on, guys. This is not that. Basic mathematics is all you need. Basic. That's it. Basic mathematics and basic common sense is all you need in order to crack these programming interviews. That's all. Now, coming back, solve 100 problems and solve interview problems like this. You can probably solve the interview problems based from a company and then go ahead and attend the interview. If in case we are applying for software development interviews, right, we will have online assessment round. That will be very hard. These days, from the past 2 years now, online assessment rounds have become insanely hard. If you don't know data section algorithms, trust me, you're not even going to clear one question in that. You probably have 2 to 3 questions in that online assessment where you need to solve these sort of problems. So if you are good, you can solve all of them. And then you get a call for data section algorithms problem solving weekend. We 1 to 2. Basically, LeetCode medium problems. Don't expect LeetCode easy problems in interviews. Please, those days are gone. LeetCode easy problems, do them to boost your confidence whenever you're feeling low. But primarily concentrate on medium problem. Hard problem, don't solve unless and until you feel like solving. If you are good with data structures, only then go and solve hard problems. Set a time frame. For easy problem, 30 minutes should be your time. In order to put a timer on your phone, 30 minutes, an alarm for 30 minutes, a timer. Go ahead and see the easy problem and go ahead and see the medium problem. If in case you want to solve medium problem, 40 minutes is your time. 30 minutes for easy, 40 minutes for medium. Hard, take 1 hour. 1 hour is fine. It's okay. Hard problem, people even working at those companies also can't solve. Don't worry. But you are expected to solve an interview. That's the sad part. That's how the industry works basically. So don't worry. Solve easy and medium to boost your confidence. Whenever you're feeling low, go and solve 1 to 2 easy problems so that you can boost your confidence again. Every single problem has an explanation to it. Every single problem has discuss forum. Like I showed a while ago, every single problem has submissions, has discussions, and you can check all these discussions of how people solved that problem, how they approached that problem, and build your intuition upon that. So that's what you need to do. If you can solve, like probably so far I saw like 300 problems, like 157 medium, 64 easy and hard. Like I shared with a friend of mine, so we both are sharing on LeetCode. So both do that basically. Like get a programming buddy. Ask your friend. I mean it literally. I mean it. Get a friend who is interested to crack those companies. Make him your LeetCode buddy. Every single day, if you are beginning right now, make a goal of solving at least 2 problems, please. At least 2 problems. Only then, if you are going to skip one day, you're going to lose out on the focus. Come on, don't do that. Solve problems every single day so that you are consistent. And when the interview comes, you're not panicking. You already know those concepts. So what are the concepts that you need to learn? These are the concepts. How can you learn these concepts? By solving these problems. And if it is very hard, first learn these concepts. Go ahead and Google. There is a website called Geeks for Geeks. I'm pretty sure everybody knows Geeks for Geeks, right? So this is basically the crux of software engineering. If in case you want to learn anything, you have data structures over here, you have algorithms over here. All these things are listed. You can go ahead and learn all these things. You can probably go Skill High or this one or whatever platform that you want. You can probably go and learn and come back to LeetCode and solve the problems again. That should be your end goal. That should primarily be your end goal if in case you want to crack a good job. Build your portfolio, build your resume, then parallelly solve data sets and algorithms on LeetCode. Don't need any other website apart from LeetCode. There is CodeShare, there is Codeforces, there is Interviewbit. there are other lots of sites also. You don't need to basically go on that. Go and explore. If you like the problems, go and solve. But lead code, number one priority if you want to crack those jobs, whatever I showed so far. So yeah, I think that's all about it. So I think we probably covered everything,
Yes,
right?
Revan. Yeah. So let's take up some questions. So guys, actually it was an amazing session with a lot of valuable information that we got today. So I just wanted to give an opportunity for any of the student from our audience to speak about today's session. We need you to tell something, how you are feeling right now before the session and after the session. It will be boosting us, as well as it will be boosting all the other audience to make a proper decision as well. Yes, so anyone. So guys, there is nothing wrong if you do not have proper communication skills as well. Here the whole thing matters is a content, like the what you have actually wanted to share. And if you're having any queries also, you can ask, like, come on, raise your hands. We'll be unmuting you. You can ask.
See, it's fine even if it's not entitled to this particular domain. You can ask anything about interviews or
Yes, anything
anything
in the
is that.
software development, anything. Yep.
Yes.
So anyone from all the 60 participants. So no one is coming forward to no. If you are feeling shy, that's okay. All of your no, all the participants here are your friends, and even you can treat us as your mates. So you can ask your questions, you can speak up, and also in the rare case, yes, you can post in the chat option.
I think it's comfortable. You can even talk to us in your mother tongue, Telugu or Hindi or anything as such.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
I think no, might be they might be feeling shy or something else. Okay, so guys, do not forget that this the coupon code which I have shared, instant 500, gives you 500 rupees off only till the next 1 hour. So make sure you take the membership before 1 hour itself and become a part of Skill High. We'll definitely connect you with all the other things. We'll connect you everything. So, but by the way, I learned DSA in my 4th year only. That's okay, I think, Revan.
No,
So
that's
there is nothing. There is
have
no
been texting me. So how much time this takes? Like how much time did you learn? So they just worried. So I'm just reaffirming. Even if you are in your 3rd year or 4th year, doesn't matter. You can learn DSS in 6 months.
So, sir, I am pursuing my 2nd year in CSC. I don't even know basics. Okay, so not a problem. Again, yeah. Learn DSA. Okay. How can I take a membership? Fine. So you just go. I'll just show the process of how to take a membership once. Eleventh, can I share my screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
So guys, you can actually the home page looks like this. Once after you getting into the home page, click on membership. So as soon as you clicked on membership, click on get Skill High membership. You will be taken to the checkout page where you need to enter your, sorry, before entering, don't forget to mention your coupon code. How can you avail the discount otherwise? So enter the coupon code here, click on apply now. Later, enter all the billing details, give the proper mobile number, proper address, guys, everything, because it's very hard to communicate with you guys if you have given any false number or something. So yeah, click on I have read and agree with the website terms and conditions and click on register now. You will be redirected to the Razorpay payment gateway. Just wait for a couple of seconds, guys. Webhooks will work, all these things. So couple of seconds you will be getting a pop-up saying that yes, now proceed with the payment. You can opt for UPI payment, Google Pay, Phone Pay, credit card, debit card, EMI, something, everything is available there. But yeah, as it is just 1,000 rupees, you can go with Google Pay or Phone Pay or something else. Yeah, this is how we'll be taking a membership at Skill High. Any more queries you can ask, or if you're having any queries related to what I'm going to learn, then just go and explore this part, guys. Don't forget to explore this one. So all these are individual courses and modules it consists of. And also, no, yeah, as mentioned earlier, our curriculum is made for you to fit into all the product-based companies as well. And go and download the syllabus if you need more details about the syllabus and curriculum. Yeah, it is there. There is a machine learning engineer. Our previous webinar is hosted on machine learning. You can go through the YouTube video if you need some, opinion about machine learning engineering and specialization, everything. So yeah, every course has its own certification. At the same time, if you complete the specialization, you will be getting specialization certification as well. Yes, and importantly, yes, only the members will get access to apps, not everyone. So only the members will be getting access to log in through the mobile app on the Android or iPhone. That's fine. So yes, 12 months of unlimited access, 15 plus courses, as well as we are keeping on updating the new courses depending on the what industry required. And once again, live doubt clearance is promised, and also live project development sessions is promised. And placement and internship assistance, as soon as you complete a project and submit your portfolio to us, we are definitely going to give you placement assistance as well. And access to boot camps, as I said earlier, we are going to host sessions on LinkedIn bootcamp, resume building bootcamp, online front-end development bootcamp, etc. You will be getting access to all these events as well. Basically, boot camps are something where it's a paid events in our platform, but our members are going to get free access to a lot of boot camps, which are worth around $299 each. Instead of spending $299 for every event, just take a membership and attend all the boot camps. That will help you a lot, right? So any more queries or anything else, we are happy to answer.
There are just a couple of things I need to share. So I promise that I'll be sharing my resume at the very end, how it should look like. So,
yes.
Like, since I'm experienced, it's okay for me to have 2-page resumes. If you guys are not experienced, don't have more than 1 page. This is what basically the numbers and mail IDs are changed, guys. Trust me, they're not going to work. So I just changed them. So this is how your resume should look like. If you are in your 3rd year, your employment should basically be your internships, and then your education, your technical experience with your project or something like that. So basically, I put my skills at the very end. That's what people expect also. Your resume should speak for yourself. So putting that at the very top doesn't make any sense also. Just put them down. If you are not comfortable with that, go ahead and put it up. Not a big deal anyways. So if you are still in your early stage, 1 single page resume. And if you are like really confused, if you don't know anything about what happened so far, or if you still have queries now, you always can reach out to me on LinkedIn for free. I'm not going to charge anything. If you want proper advice, I'm more than happy to help you guys. This is my LinkedIn profile. Can reach out to me anywhere. Please build your LinkedIn. If in case you are going into the software industry, you need to have LinkedIn profile for sure. Please do that. That's the way that you can connect with people.
Sorry for interruption. Raymond sir, could you please post your LinkedIn profile in the chat box so that people can actually follow you?
Sorry, yeah, I should do that. 1 second. To everybody. But sure. Okay, I just put that. You can just send me a connection request if in case you want to have a conversation. More than happy to accept those connection requests and probably have a conversation. But keep that to the topic. Don't ask my compensation or anything. I get a lot of those weird messages. And again, just don't text hi or hellos, not just to me, to any person on LinkedIn. Do not text hi, hello. Put your whole context in one message itself. Completely put your whole context, like I came across this so-and-so job opening in your careers portal. Will you be open to refer me for that? Here is my resume for your reference. Put everything in one message. Your first message should be your point. Don't put hi and wait for this other person to tell you hi or hello. 99% of the times, that's why you don't get any replies on LinkedIn. If you ask hi, nobody's going to reply you. Put the whole message. Only then you'll probably get a reply 99% of the times. So yeah, don't have a LinkedIn profile, create it. Absolute beast. Don't have lead code, go and create platform. Go and create account on lead code and practice problems right now. That's what. Okay, I think that's all from my side. If you guys have any questions right now, I'll be more than happy to take. Like I got a couple of private messages. I'll probably you can access these courses to Sky. Yeah, I think you can access those courses from
Yes, yes. We have the courses, the whole full stack.
Right, and here I learned terminal, as I said, third year, third year ending. If you're bad in mathematics, doesn't matter much. You're not going to do integral calculus or anything, nah. Doesn't matter. Good with basic number theory, good with little bit of combinations, permutations. Good, you're good. You're settled. That's all you need to learn to do all these statistics.
I think they have heard about max and everything when they might be in the listening to data science or machine learning related concepts.
Oh,
In
for that you need maths, guys.
Yes,
for that you need a lot of maths.
Yeah, but in that concept you might need probability and statistics as well. But here right now, for this you might not need probability and statistics as well.
Yes, if in case we were going for data science, machine learning, big data, all that stuff, definitely you need maths. Ignore whatever I told you so far. If your goal is that, go and pick up a pen and paper and solve calculus right now. That's what you should do. So yeah, that's all about it.
Yes. So guys, don't forget to fill and submit the feedback form as soon as the meeting ends. There will be it will be redirected to a web page where you will be having a survey form. You need to fill and submit it. I think definitely this the statement which I'm going to tell later will hurt Raven, because yeah, what I'm going to say is actually doesn't matter for the students as well. But the thing is that we provide participation certificate for the webinar only for the sake of motivating you to attend these sort of sessions, get awareness on the knowledge. But please don't do not take as this as a false motivation. Just it's a kind of a motivation for you to attend actively and to participate actively in the discussions as well. That is a motive of generating a participation certificate for the webinar, but not for the sake of we do not say that you take and put this certificate in the resume, you will get a job. No, not at all. And yeah, so most of the speakers or guest speakers won't like this thing, but still, yes, only if you fill and submit the feedback form and the details what we are going to get in that feedback form will be generating for that. Because we wanted to know, like, you are the only one who attended the whole session, because there are a lot of people, I think the number has went to 98 and 99 sometimes, but people can't demand a participation certificate attending off the session or attending in between the session. You only wanted to give a award of participation only for them who attended the whole session and participated actively, right? So that is a motivation. And yeah, thank you, Raven. Thank you, Raven. Is my voice audible? Yeah.
Yes.
So it's an amazing session actually. So generally what I have expected is like we are going to deliver something, a knowledge on only the web development part, but this is a all-round development session where they came to know how to build their portfolio. They came to know how to build their resume, how to connect with LinkedIn, how to apply for jobs, everything. Yes, it's an amazing session. Guys, any sort of greetings from you towards the guest speaker, that would be a very great thing. And we are going to wind up the session in 2 minutes.
I just wanted to share something.
Sure.
So first of all, like Akshay mentioned, it was an amazing session. I mean, I'm not a technical student or I don't even work in that field. So I wish I knew a little more about technology to understand this, but then I couldn't. But yeah, you covered all the other aspects as well. It was like a package and amazing. Like how important it is for a youngster or a person to be job ready, to have a portfolio and everything as such. And you also covered how ardently we need to prepare, even if it's for 6 months or 7 months. That ardent or dire motivation is important. So thanks for letting us know about that. And guys, like Akshay mentioned earlier, we offer a membership which covers a package of courses, more than 15 courses, along with basic skills like English, soft skills, quantitative aptitude, etc. And currently I'm working on collaborations with companies. So once when you take the membership, you can also have access to all the internships and the jobs that they post, and also the live projects as well. So and everything under 1K rupees. So I think you need to make the best out of it and perk up the plethora of opportunities. Thank you.
Raven, there is a greeting message from Nitin. Thank you, Raven sir, for this amazing session.
So I'm glad you people found it useful. So like I know exactly what the situation of tier 3 college students are. myself being from Tier 2. So yeah, if in case you have any query, if you are shy, if you couldn't open up here, you can reach out to Neha, you can reach out to Akshay, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. All our profiles you can probably find on LinkedIn with a simple search itself. You can ping us and we'll be more than happy to assist you.
Again, Ruchita saying, thank you, sir. I get to know many things. It's a wonderful session. Guys, you can directly message to Revant or else keep it for everyone. I could see this greeting messages, but Revant sir couldn't see these messages because it is directly to me. Okay. Yeah.
I
Nice.
specifically like the part where you delivered about product companies because I'm pretty sure not many people know about that.
Yes. So everyone are might be in the intention where they will be only applying for TCS,
Yes,
Wipro, and Infosys, where
yes,
volume hiring takes place, and they need to have some basic aptitude, solve some 20 to 30 questions of aptitude, later 20 to 30 verbal questions, later 4 coding questions, and then yes, you got a job. So guys, you have seen a very little thing, 3 lakhs per annum. That's what you see in the colleges, but come out of that box. The days are over. The days are here where irrespective of college you can crack a job with around 9 10 lpa, even sometimes 13 to 15 lpa,
The standard
depending
is
on your
15.
stress.
Standard
Yes.
is 15 base.
Yes, 15. So
and
guys,
guys,
you,
the suggestion from my end, do follow Raven sir because he posts amazing stuff. You might know people like Vaibhav Sisanti and all. Follow them as well. They share a lot of information. Like recent post was about same product based companies Vaibhav Sisanti has shared, and I have seen. I remember Raven sir. I saw your post on Quora, like how it has lost its importance in the recent days. So he posts really interesting stuff. So do follow. Not just
yes.
that, keep following websites like Tumblr, Reddit, Quora. You get a lot of information there. Variant information, but yes, you do get it. Yeah.
So there is a question for a freshers, product based or service based company preferred in these days.
Of course, startup
Okay.
and product don't even have the. I mean, if in
Don't
case you
think
are on,
about service, guys. Don't think about non-technical. Stay focused to one. There are a lot of opportunities. See, only simple funda, guys. Suppose, for example, a company want to recruit a person of full stack development who is having 3 to 5 years experience. They need to invest 25 lakhs or 30 lakhs. But as a fresher, you have that skills. You build that portfolio. Why a company will invest 25 lakhs in him or her? They will come directly to you and invest at least 13 lakhs, right? 15 lakhs. He can save, the company can save 10 lakhs, right? Why won't you think in this perspective? Why won't you think in that perspective where you can build skills and equally equipped with the experienced candidate? So that is where this post comes in, which we have posted in our social media. When employer wants 5 years of experience before you turn 20, how can you do that? It's something like you need to build portfolio and you need to do that. So guys, keep following our Instagram profile as well. We are going to post some job notifications and internship notifications from a product based companies like this. So many of them are not aware of Microsoft is hiring. Even if I say Microsoft is hiring, they will say that might be in San Francisco, not in Hyderabad. No, not like that. It is in Hyderabad. So it is in Bangalore also. It is in Chennai also. Don't think like people say that Google will hire interns, but not in Hyderabad, not in Bangalore. Google will hire interns as well in Hyderabad also, in Bangalore also. Don't think that you should go to some where San Francisco or US or Canada to get jobs in these companies. Don't be in such state of mind. And to be very frank, Microsoft has started its campus in Hyderabad very early stage, where development of Microsoft has R&D has taken place in Hyderabad. Go to Gachibowli and see how exactly their campus is. Most of them are worried about worried without exploring. First explore, then you will come to know whether to worry or not, right? So yes, thank you, Revant. Thanks for the wonderful session, and let's wind it up for now. And any guys who wants to refer this session once again later, this recording and everything will be available on YouTube. Once after, not after 2 to 3 hours of the session, we'll posting it in the YouTube as well. So you can refer to your friends, tell them how valuable things they have missed today. Yes, and curate them and ask them to join you as a lead code partner. Yes. Thank you, Revant. Thanks
sure.
for the
And one
wonderful.
last thing, like we don't
Yes.
hate service based guys. It's just that your career would be better if you join startups or product based. That's it. If in case your goal is to work for the Tatas, go ahead. Bindas, definitely do that. But if you want a good job, very high paying package, they don't offer that much. Then go with startups and products. That's exactly what we want.
I think it's better. I will tell them. I will tell them an example. Guys, if you're a passed out student and you are applied for a off-campus driver on in-campus driver of TCS, so ultimately you will be getting to have a 3 lakhs LPA by the end of the interview. The point is where you will be getting trained for 3 months. You will be in the bench period and waiting for the project. But the project is not something related to what you have trained. It's a general fact. You are going to work on something like integrations or UI based softwares where your coding skills will not be implemented there, where you are going to do something like API integrations with the drag and drop things and etc. Some little bit of logic thing, but yes, but make sure that there you are getting 3 lakhs LPA. After 2 years of your jump, you might be getting 5 LPA. After fifth year, sixth year, you might be getting around 9 LPA, or by the end of fourth year, you are going to get 9 to 10 LPA. But the point is, if you go to non-technical or something BPO related job, it is a lot even more worst. Okay, what if you invest right now a 6 to 8 months properly, plan your career? If okay, try hard. Okay, you invest 6 more months, but crack something which actually gives you a lot of pay, because a day, days are gone. 5 years back, you can stay with 1 lakh LPA, but in the future, if you look yourself after 5 years, this 1 lakh is not going to sufficient, guys, because inflation occurs. The value of the rupee might be up and down. So at the same time, cost of things like petrol, diesel, everything goes up and down, right? At the time, if you want to place yourself and live happily, you need money. At the same time, the need money. Money comes from skills and talents. Skills and talents comes from working with a great teams and collaborations. Where you can find these great teams and collaborations, you can find these great teams and collaborations only in the where team has given an opportunity to explore themselves, put themselves to solve a problem. If you are working in a very big company under a specific person or manager, you should listen to him. He may not be listened to you back, because it's a standard operating process. But in product based companies like that, where you will be involved as a team, you will be involved in a product problem solving situations, your talent increases, your skills improves, and also your pay increases, right? So that is where the difference between the person doing the job in Amazon or something in a non-technical jobs, that's where a difference comes in. The person who is working in TCS, Infosys, Wipro, where a volume hiring takes place, mass hiring, like 100 200 people from each campus, something like that. But the actual difference comes here. If you applied for product based companies, the actual essence of software development and also the meaning for your last 4 years will exist. Yes. So yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for listening to us patiently, with all this 1.5 hour of efforts. Hope everyone will pursue their right career, satisfy your parents, satisfy your family, satisfy yourself. Okay, and take a very good decision. Thank you. So okay, Devan, thank you. Have a great day.
So all the best, people, to whoever has who's
Thank
coming
you.
soon.
Thank you, Neha. Thank you for joining the session. By the way, Neha is the HR in the company, where she will be looking for the collaborations between the companies, and she will be responsible for onboarding
Yes.
companies in our Skillai, where companies will be sharing the job requirement with us. We actually assist students. So guys, yeah. So this is all
Also,
about us.
guys, one more thing. This webinar is not entitled to today. So we'll be hosting more webinars like this. So if you take the membership, you'll have access to all the webinars, because later we are going to charge for the webinars as well. This is in a very initial state, so we don't charge right now. So in order to get access to any placements or internships that we post, or webinars or boot camps, do take the membership. And yes, Akshay and Revant has emphasized everything so well. I hope you perceive that knowledge and walk through your career.
Thank you, Neha. Yes, I'm going to end up the session, guys. Don't forget to fill and submit the feedback form. Thank you.
Yes, bye bye.